myself Dr. Archie Rumta. I'm a cancer genetic professional at MPMMC Varanasi. So I have actually done my BDS from GDC Mumbai, and then I had 1 year training in PG Diploma in Cancer Genetic and Genetic Counseling from TMH Mumbai. And then I'm working here as a cancer genetic professional, where we deal with hereditary cancer syndromes, basically doing pre-test, post-test counseling for the patients who have a hereditary predisposition.
So, what is the importance of genetic counseling before genetic testing?
So basically, genetic counseling is actually genetic testing is actually a journey. It's not a process. Just that we are doing the test and then we are getting the results. But we in pre-test counseling, we need to understand basically about the perceptions of the patient about the genetic testing, like because it has implications not only for the patient but for the family members as well. Okay, so we need to understand the background, the educational background, and the socioeconomic strata, the family history. All this is covered in a pre-test counseling. Also, preparing the patient for the three possible outcomes of the report, what they can expect when a post-test counseling is scheduled for them. So, what are the possibilities and future implications for them as well as their family members?
Is there any age recommended for this genetic testing?
Yes. So there are age specifications also, as well as tumor histology and what type of cancer. So according to certain guidelines, like for breast cancer, if it is a triple negative type of breast cancer, so if the biopsy IHC shows triple negative, then at any age it should be done. Other than that, other breast cancers below 50 is current the criteria according to the NCCN guidelines. Below 50 is being recommended. Other than that, high grade serous ovarian cancers at any age. Then we do have other cancers like medullary thyroid cancer, then colon cancers below 50 or 40 we advise. So age group is different for different cancers, like prostate cancer below 60 is called as young onset. Then endometrial, these are different type of cancers in which we have a suspicion of hereditary cancer.
And like how effective these genetic testing are in detecting the cancers?
Yes, so genetic testing helps us to identify a particular variant which has been identified, so that it can help in, for example, in breast and ovarian cancer, it helps us help for the patient for certain targeted therapies like PARP inhibitors. And secondary, it has implications for them also if they have developed first primary and they have undergone treatment and it was early onset, for example, and their disease is under control, they might in future develop second primary, or if they have some risk, how we can prevent that from getting second cancer in the future, as well as for family members also. Any screening, any preventive measure, or any surgical option, surveillance is, if possible, we can go for them so that we can detect it very early so that it can be curable.
Yeah. So, in which situations do the clinician advise genetic testing?
So what I can see now, in Indian scenario where there is very limited awareness about genetic testing, most of the cases which we see in our clinic is breast and ovarian cancers which are being referred to us. So there are other cancers also, as I already mentioned. So in all those cases scenarios also, we should be recommending. Matlab, for us, the clinicians mostly recommend breast, ovarian. Then there is MMR deficient colon cancers or prostate cancers, in which they feel that there is a targeted therapy implications for the patient. All those cases are currently referred to us.
So, what key points should be explained to a patient before ordering a genetic test?
So first thing, I already mentioned pre-test counseling. So first of all, the patient should understand what is genetic test. So basically, we try to explain them from the very basic level by maybe some using audiovisual aids, or making them explain that it is not, it hereditary means that it has to be passed on from generation to generation, that is inheritance. Many a times the patient asks that, is it like what do you say कि फैलने वाला है कि communicable? Yes, is it communicable, like can I sit and eat with my family? So they need to understand that even if it is hereditary, does not mean that it is communicable disease. It's not a communicable disease. If it is hereditary, you have inherited it at the time of your birth only. So that needs to be understood by the patient. Then second thing they need to understand is what are the implications for them. So it does not mean, many times patient becomes very frightened or very if what will happen to my family members, but so I don't want to do the test, whatever is going to happen will happen.
Yeah.
So we need to make them understand it is important for them also, as I told you, targeted therapy purpose or any other future risk. Also for the family members, if you're going to get it, you get to know it at a very early stage, then it is completely curable. So that is an advantage. So all these aspects plus psychosocial aspect is also covered, like what if the if in post test counseling, when the report is disclosed, how the patient is going to react. All that psychosocial counseling is also done in the pre test counseling itself before the genetic test is ordered.
how a patient could reach counselings like
So at our center, yeah. So at our center at TMH Mumbai Varanasi, we have a dedicated genetics clinic where we have genetic counselor dedicated, who we all look into the counseling aspect. But so even if they are visiting their doctor and the clinician has not advised, they could still come and visit us if they feel they have a strong family history. But the clinician has not been advised them genetic counseling. They can still meet a genetic counselor. So in India, there is limited awareness as well as limited cancer genetic professionals for now. So that becomes really a barrier for patients also to go for genetic counseling.
how do you address expectations of the patients before testing? Like,
So yeah, expectations like for patient, it's many times they feel that in our clinic, like before a genetic test is ordered or just sent for the testing, their expectations are quite high, that they feel ki acha, if I come to know that I have this mutation or I have the variant, is there any medication you're going to give, or is there any gene editing you're going to do that I don't get cancer only? What is the use of the test according to them if you're not going to do anything? But we try to make them understand that it's not always about medication or something. If even if the mutation has been identified, it does not mean that you're going to get cancer or you are having cancer. It just means that you're an increased risk of getting cancer. Exactly, and it is just an increased risk. You might not get cancer any time in your entire life, but if you have certain risk, we can do screening, continuous screening. We can be aware about it, and like that, we can just prevent it from happening. Or even if it's happening, we can. It can be completely curable if it has been diagnosed at a very early stage.
so what are the important steps in post-test counseling?
So, in post test counseling, the first and foremost step is asking the patient about how much they remember from the pre test counseling, like why this test was done in the first place. They should at least remember why the test was done, because it has again very psychosocial issues arises if they don't remember, or just the family member gave the blood sample for testing and the patient is not knowing about the test. So in the pre-test counseling itself, we take an informed consent. A decision has to be made by the patient itself for or for going forward with the genetic test. So in post-test counseling, the first and foremost thing is the patient should know why the testing was done. Second thing, explaining them, going through it step by step procedure, basically reminding them what was told to them in pre-test, what were told about the implications of the genetic test, then disclosing the result to them. Yes, this has been identified in you, but you don't need to worry about it because we are here. Giving them assurance that we genetic counselors are there for them for the whole journey, from starting from them and for their family also. We are here, so that assurance is very helpful in such cases. Then making them understand the report, and in our cases we give a risk management plan to them, an individualized risk management plan based on their personal and family history, what other cancer screening they have to do for future and for family members.
A person diagnosed with cancer is like emotionally very low. So what one thing that all caregivers should understand about the cancer?
Yeah, so they should understand that it's actually not easy for the caregiver
Yeah.
as well, because we have seen cases where the patient is going through a lot, but the caregiver also has to go through with that. So the caregiver should understand that it's already it's a very difficult situation for the patient, because the patient is the one taking the treatment and emotionally very weak, but the caregiver is the one who is going to support the patient at all times. So they should be emotionally strong, I guess, the caregiver, to support the patient.
What one message you want to give to all the clinicians who test like patients?
Sorry.
What one message you want to give to your patients?
For patients, yeah. So I think early detection can save lives, basically. So we should be aware about whatever is going around us. It's like, uh, don't wait for the diagnosis. If you have early signs and symptoms, it's better to detect it at that stage itself. So always early detection is being useful. So I would like to just end it with this, that early detection can save lives.